Welcome to Gary's, I should say, bienvenue au Gary's Graveyard Gramblings. From a very special location today, not in the usual in the village, but as you can see by the writing and the names, there are all sorts of weird and wonderful things happening in here. Ooh. Because we are in Paris, at the famous Père Lachaise cemetery. Hello. And episode 43. Now, this one's going to be slightly different from the others because, for one thing, well, actually, one thing is going to be the same. I won't have the faintest idea what I'm going to be talking about because I hadn't planned this really. Well, I sort of had. I mean, I did fly here. Don't make your arms ache. And so, no, it isn't that. I mean, it'll be as chaotic as ever because it's a Grambling. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not that. It's just that I hadn't given it any thought. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to talk about today. But there are a couple of monuments in here, which of course we should cover. And I'm going to be doing that. But the second thing that is slightly unusual is that I'm going to edit this because I can't do it all in one take. So just bear with me. Well, the first thing I want to say is just how extraordinarily beautiful this cemetery is. And the time of year helps, of course, because Paris always looks particularly fabulous in the autumn. I've just come past one of the graves on my way to the first of our sensational monuments and seen this one up here. Now, I think you'll agree with me that that is a rather, well, put it this way, I wouldn't want to be lumbered with that surname. Would you? I don't think so. One of the other interesting things about this particular cemetery, and something you don't tend to see in the British ones, you certainly don't see it in my churchyard in the village because Count Dracula and the Brides of Dracula live there, as you know, so it's probably just as well. But in this one, we have the curious thing that a lot of the family vaults seem to have been either broken into or are completely visible inside. Like this one, for example. I'm going to turn around, excuse the cack-handedness. This one, very pretty there, and if you look down, you can see inside. It's rather poignant, don't you think? Yes. I think the thing to say about Oscar Wilde's tomb, such as it is perhaps it's not what you think it might be. You might have thought perhaps some glorious Gothic sort of edifice. I don't know. That's kind of what I thought. Maybe a bit camp. I don't know. But I don't think I was really expecting it to be quite as modern as it actually is. And in fact, it's behind me now. And it's really rather, I don't know. It reminds me of the statues on the front of East Finchley, or Finchley Central is its station, or Broadway Buildings, the headquarters of London Underground, because it's kind of blocky and, is it Art Deco? I'm not entirely sure. But there's Oscar, bless him. Trouble is, it's all a bit scruffy down the bottom. And there's sort of lipsticks in there and old neckties and dog ends and candles and things in pots. Rather a shame, actually. But sort of one of those things like, I'm kind of glad I've seen it. Now, this place is actually vast. And there's a very good chance that if I try and find the other two really famous graves in, I mean, there's loads of famous graves in here, like Jim Morrison of the Doors and Edith Piaf, of course, whose tomb I am going to find. But the thing is, you do get the feeling after wandering around here for a bit that if you don't find something soon, you may as well not leave because it's that huge. It's beautifully kept and very tidy, and some of the tombs here are Gothic to the point of over-Gothic almost, because they're quite stunning. And I think, I'll find some great examples on the way and show you. At the moment, I'm going to try and find Edith Piaf's grave, which is, I know, not on the scale of Oscar Wilde's, but it is quite understated, if you know what I mean. Well, the one thing to say about the area where Edith is is that it seems to be somewhere a little more posh, perhaps. But it's not, as I've just said, a huge edifice at all. Here she is, bless her. The thing about Edith's wonderful singing was, of course, the way she rolled her R's. You know, you have to be able to get your tongue round your R's in order to sing like she did, bless her. And wonderful to hear her really belting that, because she was very small, you know, she was only about that big, Edith. Unlike Jim Morrison, who everybody keeps telling me was actually a rather nasty piece of work. I don't know about that. But we'll go and see if we can find his entombment nigh. Bit of a mess, isn't it? Bit of an understatement, I think, apart from all the stuff that's gathered around it. I wouldn't want that all over me once I'd gone, if I'm honest. So that just about wraps up this little trip to Gothic Père Lachaise in Paris. Bit of a strange one, this, because normally I don't talk anything about the cemeteries that I'm in, but you can't really avoid it in here. It is really stunningly beautiful. In fact, have a look at these before I go. Just have a look at some of these photos. You'll see what I mean, with a bit of atmospheric music in the background to boot. And with that, I'll bid you a fond farewell. It'll probably be back to the village cemetery, my usual nonsense, for the next one. And as always, take care. Bye and salute.